This is your WCIA 3 forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
All right, you may have heard us talking about the potential for some severe weather tonight. And yes, there's still a small opportunity, but it's only for a handful of our counties. Let's take a look at this. Tornado watch in effect for Cass, Morgan, and Macoupin County. We're watching a complex of thunderstorms coming out of far western Illinois. And yeah, there are some stronger storms located there. But this is the area that we're going to be monitoring here from basically Beardstown down to Jacksonville. And then you work your way potentially even down into southern portions of Sangamon County. But you can see these showers here, Mechanicsburg, Illiopolis, nothing too strong here. So you may get a little bit of rain, clearly. The most intense thunderstorms are out here to the west, but they're diving south and east. We'll see how much further to the east these storms can get. We'll explain why some of those may begin to die out a little bit when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
One group walked for peace to fight gun violence today, but not before another shooting this afternoon. And police have a number of tools to help track down suspects, which new one helped them in a recent shooting investigation. And job hunters, beware why you should think twice about some postings you see online.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. It's the start of a wet and rainy weekend as storms are rolling in tonight. Our chief meteorologist, Kevin Leidy, is with us. So, Kevin, how long could these storms last tonight?
Well, here's the good news. It was kind of up in the air earlier how long the threat may be, and now we've kind of nailed it down. We think really only over the next 3 hours or so we'll be watching these storms, and mainly out here along I-55 into the west. Let's kind of take a look at this and explain why we may have these storms weaken a little bit and not really get past, say, Springfield or not get over to Decatur. There's more what we call energy. Think of it like when you go, you fill up your car with gas. That gas gives that car energy to be able to do its thing, to move. Well, storms need that energy as well. And that energy is in place. This is what we call instability, okay? And CAPE is the official term, but essentially that is located where you've got this green color. Look, there's nothing here in Champaign. There's no fuel for the storms, and this CAPE and instability begins to weaken tonight. So we're going to lose the ability to sustain those storms. And you can see on our future track, look how they dive here, possibly get into Christian County, maybe Montgomery, Macoupin County down here, Fayette County. We'll be watching that area there. But more than anything, this may turn into a heavy rain event. Flash flood watch is in effect. We'll talk about just how much rain we can see by the end of the weekend when we come back here in just a little bit. Jessica?
All right, Kevin, we'll see you then. Thanks. In other news tonight, Champaign police are investigating a shooting. They were called to the area of Bradley Avenue and State Street this afternoon. WCIA 3's Jared Farmer joins us now. So, Jared, police say this started with a fight.
That's right, Jessica. Police say that fight escalated into a shooting and there was more than one person pulling the trigger. A 29-year-old man was shot and in the stomach, and police believe that he is in critical condition. Police say they found 3 handguns in the backyards of 2 nearby homes, and they're asking for anyone who may have any video surveillance to give them a call. And it's violence like that that is spurring groups into action. HV Neighborhood Transformation organized a peace walk today, and it was set to start just an hour after that shooting take place. It still went on, but with a few changes.
Stop shooting, young man! Stop shooting! Stop shooting, young man! Stop shooting!
On their latest march in the 40 Days of Peace initiative, demonstrators plan to honor the mothers in the community who've lost their children to gun violence. Maurice Hayes has been organizing the marches.
I'm tired of seeing my little people go to jail. I'm tired of seeing my young people die. I'm tired of seeing these mothers crying. I'm just fed up with it all, man, and I hope that the community at some point gets fed up with it too.
The walk was supposed to proceed along Bradley Avenue in Champaign, but a shooting that happened along that road forced marchers to alter course. It's another instance of how devastating the epidemic of gun violence is to the community.
I'm frustrated with it, right? Even seeing that on the day that we about to do this march for the specific reasons to be there when some young people were out there shooting, it's frustrating, man.
The group marched from Garden Hills to Beardsley Park. When they arrived, they held a moment of silence and gave roses to the affected moms.
What I hope that it does is it shows the community and those who are partaking in this, this activity now, that the community not going to stand for it anymore, and we stand we stand firm together against it all.
Beyond this march, Hayes is encouraging people who have experienced trauma to come talk with them at the HV&T office in Urbana. He says speaking up is just as important as marching.
All mistakes have been forgotten, as one day I hope to forgive the person that took your life.
This is part of it. This is community building. As you see all the people here with us right now, hopefully more come, but we're building a community by doing this. And we continue to do that, man. We continue to bring some kind of light to it. And ultimately, we don't have to be the one that save ourselves.
And tomorrow they're going to be back out at Beardsley Park for another event as a part of that 40 Days of Peace initiative. That's going to be going on from noon to 7.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. We have new details. One person has been arrested in connection with last weekend's shooting in Springfield. A 19-year-old was hurt. The shooting happened Saturday inside of the White Oaks Mall. Police are not releasing the suspect's name, but say more arrests are expected. They believe the shooting was gang-related. We have a follow-up on a shooting that sent 2 children to the hospital on the 4th of July. The Rantoul Police Department says they arrested one of the suspects. 18-year-old Tegan Hunt was taken into custody today. They are still looking for a 16-year-old suspect. Police say those teens drove by a home on South Cottage Grove Avenue and opened fire. 2 girls, a 15- and 7-year-old, were hit. 3 men were grazed as well. Police say they were able to arrest Hunt because of witness cooperation and because of their recently installed license plate cameras. They say having those cameras made it easier to track down the SUV that was used in the shooting.
Any time that a serious crime occurs, such as this drive-by shooting, we can go in and really take a look at suspect vehicles or vehicles that were leaving the scene of that crime and really start to kind of put the whole puzzle together.
Hunt was arrested for aggravated battery with a firearm. The other suspect has the same warrant. Police say if you know anything, to give them a call. Another higher up with Champaign Police is leaving. Yesterday, we told you Chief Anthony Cobb announced his resignation, and today, Detective Sergeant David Griffith announced his retirement. This was his last day. Griffith started his law enforcement career in 1990 with the Champaign County Sheriff's Office. He moved to Champaign Police in 1996, and he was promoted to Detective Sergeant in 2012. One woman lost her home to a fire just 2 days after moving in. This happened on South State Street near West John in Champaign. Latrice Jones moved into her home on Monday. On Wednesday, she put food in her oven. A few minutes later, her house was engulfed in smoke and flames. Everyone got out okay, but now she and her son, who has autism, just have a trash bag filled with their belongings and no permanent place to go.
It's just pretty much gone. In less than 48 hours, everything I had is gone.
Jones does have a GoFundMe set up, and we have a link to that on our website, WCIA.com. A factory in Danville was temporarily shut down this morning. Viscofan officials say a pump failed. Safety protocols were activated. The containment was successful and the public was not in danger. Danville Fire was on scene as a precaution. Switching now to the latest on the coronavirus, the positivity rate is now up to 1.7%. Almost 3,000 new cases have been reported statewide since last Friday. Another 53 people have died. 57% of adults are fully vaccinated. The Delta variant is making its way through the Midwest, and health officials are concerned about it. That's why the Champaign-Urbana Public Health District is still encouraging vaccinations for people who haven't gotten one. The Delta variant is in Illinois, but they say there are no confirmed cases in Champaign-Urbana. They also say the CDC and FDA do not advise on booster shots at this time, but Pfizer announced they are doing studies on booster shots just in case.
The CDC, the FDA, they have been monitoring tens and thousands of people for a very long time. So let's wait and see what their scientists come out with.
He says if a booster shot is approved in the future, seniors, healthcare workers, and people who are immunocompromised would be the first to get it. Big news for the fall. The CDC says if teachers and kids are fully vaccinated, they don't need to wear masks when they go back to school. The latest guidelines were released today, and Illinois public health officials say they will adopt them. The CDC also is not advising requiring vaccines for teachers and kids, but they say schools should still space students and desks 3 feet apart in classrooms. Managers all over central Illinois are searching for employees, but be careful because business owners say some job postings aren't real. Nicole Miller owns a family business in Gibson City. She got a Facebook message from a teenager asking the status of their application, but Miller had never posted a job. She wants others to be aware of the scam.
And really feared that kids specifically in the area that would be applying for this position, like the one that reached out to me, may have given their information out, believing they were talking to a local person.
She reached out to the state's attorney and police about this. If you have fallen victim to an online scam like this one, change all of your passwords, especially for your banking accounts. It's good news from Illinois basketball, but it's not about the players, what Coach Brad Underwood announced today. Plus, you never want to find ants inside of your house, why there's a higher chance you'll spot them there this weekend. All right, Kevin, still watching that far western part.
Yeah, that's kind of the only area that we have of concern, kind of a handful of western counties that are out there. When we come back, we'll talk about how long that severe weather threat lasts and how maybe it becomes more of a rain threat. That's going to be in the forecast here in just a little bit, so stay tuned.